Hello and welcome to the Act 3 playthrough. First, after killing the end boss of Act 2, we travel to the city of Sarn, where we want to defeat the guard captain to get a quest from Clarissa. Now this quest is very important because if we do not grab it, we cannot progress further, so make sure to accept the quest. We enter the Sarn encampment and shortly after the slums, where we are looking for the entrance to the sewer. We will use that a bit later, so remember where it is. After we found the entrance, we continue looking for another entrance, and that is the one to the crematorium. In the crematorium, you should definitely activate the waypoint and look for the trial of ascendancy that you can find in the area. Complete it and then search for Piety, who will, accompanied by her guards, fight you. After killing all of her guards and getting her to around half HP, she will teleport away and you will be able to pick up Tolman's bracelet, the quest item. Now we can head back to town. In town we want to talk to Clarissa first, who will then hand us the sewer keys, what will enable us to enter that area. As a next talent, we now select the small bow and damage evasion node. We now go back to the slums to enter the sewer. In this area we need to find 3 busts. The first one is always close to the entrance, while the other 2 are always located behind the waypoint. In terms of gear, you should now start to look out for 4 linked items. In my case, an item with 2 red and 2 green sockets that are linked is ideal. Make sure that you collected all 3 busts and activated the waypoint before going into the next area, the marketplace. In the marketplace you can find an optional quest that I always skip as it does not give a talent point as a reward, but if you want you can of course complete it. In this area we are looking for the waypoint and the entrance to the catacombs that is always close to it. Enter the catacombs and search for the trial of ascendancy and complete it. If you have done that, you can teleport back to the marketplace and continue exploring the area until you find the exit to the battlefront. In the battlefront we are, again, looking for the waypoint and the blackguard chest that is located in the southwest. Open it, take the quest item and travel north until you find the entrance to the docks. In the docks we are, opposite to the other areas, not looking for the waypoint, but instead for the supply container. Finding it can take quite some time, so be prepared for that. Take the thaumatic sulfide and travel back to the battlefront, where we will then, in the northeast part of the area, search for the entrance to the Solaris temple. Find the entrance to the second Solaris temple level, in which you will find Lady Diala, who will offer you 2 rewards for the quest items that you collected for her. Depending on your attributes, you might want to take a different amulet than me, so make sure to check what attributes you are missing. Take the second reward, the Infernal Talc, and don't forget to also get the crafting recipe in a nearby room, the Eternal Laboratory. After you got the recipe, travel to the sewer again, where we can now destroy the undying blockage near the waypoint. This opens up the entrance to the next zone, the Ebony Barracks. Grab the waypoint north of the entrance and look for Gravicius, a mini-boss that we need to defeat. He deals a lot of fire damage, so having a bit of fire resistance now will be very helpful. After you defeated him, do not go back to town yet. First travel north until you find the entrance to the Lunaris temple. Enter it and look for the waypoint that will be near the entrance of its second level. In town we now talk to Maramoa, who offers us a variety of different skill gems. For my build, I do not need any of these skills, but this might be different for your build, so make sure that you select the right one if necessary. Like me, you can sell items if you need to and should, if you follow my build, start looking for a bow and a quiver now. We will then talk to Larissa to buy the explosive arrow skill gem. Even if we cannot use this skill yet, place it into a green socket in your gear so that it gets experience and levels. Before traveling to the Lunaris temple, however, I try to make sure that my resistances are nearly capped. If that is not the case, do not worry. Just try to craft resistance on your gear if possible. You can always check your resistances by pressing C and looking at your resistance stats in the tab Defense. The crafting bench that you unlocked in combination with your hideout in Act 2 gives you the option to craft certain modifiers on your gear. It is often used, especially during the acts, to craft resistances on your gear. To check whether you're able to craft on a piece of gear, just press Alt and check if your item has a free suffix slot. Remember that blue items can only have one prefix and one suffix, while yellow or rare items can have up to 3. But you can of course only craft one modifier, always remember that as well. After I crafted resistance on my gear, I traveled to the Lunaris waypoint and entered the second level of the Lunaris temple. It is very easy to get lost in the zone, but as general advice I give you a tip. While exploring the area you will find a long passage with a few stairs that will take you to a seemingly higher level in the area. Always follow that passage. You never have to go down, but always up in this area. If you manage to get to the end of the zone, you will find a portal to a boss that you have already encountered before. Piety. Defeat her, grab the key that she dropped, and do not forget to get the close by recipe as well. In town we want to talk to Grigor, who will give us a skill book as a reward for killing Piety. The next talents that we pick after completing the bow damage wheel by picking Avatar of the Hunt are the Ignite related nodes that are a bit further down. Make sure, if you follow this build, to pick the top nodes, as the chance to ignite is very important to us, and of course, if you have enough talent points, pick Burning Brutality. The next points will be spent traveling to the upper side of the talent tree. After defeating Piety, we travel to the Ebony Barracks once again to search for the entrance to the Imperial Gardens. In it, grab the waypoint and search for the entrance to the library. In the library, we are looking for the waypoint and the NPC that is right next to it, Ziosa. Who will tell you that he will give you a reward if you collect 4 golden pages for him. We then have to find the secret entrance to the next level by clicking a lever that looks like a candle, where we then need to find the 4 golden pages. After we collected them, we travel back to Ziosa, who will now offer us certain skills as a quest reward. Again, I do not need any of these skill gems for my build, but that may be different for you. Instead, I want to buy certain skills from him, namely Ballista Totem Support and Lesser Multiple Projectiles. As you may have noticed though, I did not have enough currency to afford a skill gem, so I decided to not switch to the Explosive Arrow setup right away. Looking back, this was definitely a mistake and I should have done that. After buying all the skill gems that you might need, you want to travel back to the Imperial Gardens and search for the entrance for the Trial of Ascendancy that is located in the area. In the trial, do not forget to grab the crafting recipe as well. After you activated the shrine, you are now able to enter your first labyrinth. I do not do that here, as my first Ascendancy talent will only become useful in later parts of the acts. We then look for the entrance to the Scepter of God, a huge tower. At the top of that tower, the end boss of Act 3, Dominos, is waiting for us. The area can be quite confusing as well, but generally speaking you should not have much of a hard time getting through it. In the following area, the Upper Scepter of God, you can then unlock the 7th class in Path of Exile, the Sarn. Before you can fight Dominos though, the main boss, you do have to defeat a few monsters that can be quite annoying as well. One attack that you should look out for is his slam attack that you are warned about by him shouting "Touch of God" and raising his lightning infused hand to then slam it on the ground. After you manage to get him to low HP, the second phase will begin, where he turns into some sort of demon. If it rains blood, make sure to stand in the yellow circle. Otherwise, the boss isn't that hard. Defeating Dominos then opens up the way to the Aqueduct, at the end of which you will find the town of Act 4. That was Act 3. I did not cover all side quests, only the ones that are worth doing, but of course if you like to complete the entire campaign, you can always do them nonetheless. See you in the next one.